Well, hello.
Hello.
What's up, everybody?
What
Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Pretty
Doing
good.
good.
Fan
On the right track.
Fantastic. Obviously, we got a new sub in today. We got Q
I gotta
Swin.
stretch. Sorry, Lobster's comment made me have to stretch. Oh, so weird.
Quack, quack.
Yes, the Cowboys win.
What
We'll
up,
get to
Q?
that in just a few minutes. But yeah, we got Q Swin in the building with us today in place of Firestorm, who's normally in place of Daddy Dabs. So we got a sub for the sub this week. Welcome,
Third
Q
string.
Swin.
Thank you so much.
And all of you in the chat, welcome to the THF Extra Point. We're breaking down Week 12 in the NFL, setting the table for the Turkey Day to come. And man, another crazy week in the NFL is over.
Crazy.
First reactions, obviously, Cowboys. Wow.
And congrats, Navy, for picking them.
Hey, I told y'all, man, you don't go against the family. You don't
Yeah.
go against the family, okay, Dom? Jesus, how many times did you post that GIF, Wakko?
I know, right? Well, I gotta say, as much as it's there's a lot of good and a lot of bad here. Obviously, it's never bad to beat up on a divisional foe, one of your rivals, but man. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. You know what pisses me off the most about this is a game. They were 10.5-point underdogs. They should not have even had a chance. They're playing with a backup quarterback. They're beat up. They're banged up. There's still big stars on the team injured. You got Washington. Now, granted, they have not been as hot lately. They're coming off a loss.
Not at all.
But they're still a hot team overall this season, and they were playing at home. Obviously, divisional games, we talk about it all the time. Divisional games are crazy. They're different. And Dallas has had Washington's number, but you got Dan Quinn coming up against his old team in his own building, and the Cowboys shouldn't have been in this game at all. This should have been a beatdown of monstrous proportions, and somehow the Cowboys not only won, but they, outside of a couple fluky things and they won. And it's like, on one hand, I really want to get up. I want to be super happy that the players got up and won this game. But to me, it's just bittersweet because it's like, why didn't y'all get up and win that game last year against Detroit against Green Bay in the playoffs? Why didn't you get up and stand up for yourselves against San Francisco the last 2 years in the playoffs? Like, this game was meaningless. Winning this game hurt the team. And it took us out of the top 10 in the draft on the draft board next year. It killed draft capital. And it's like, I get it. The players don't want to quit. They don't want to tank. And Micah Parsons went on record saying, "I'm here. We're playing to win every week. Owners be damned, draft pick be damned. And I applaud him for that. But
I mean,
honestly,
honestly,
get up
every
the games
NFL
that
player
matter. Pisses me off.
It's also
Okay, I'm
special
done.
teams. Special teams was like a big thing in that game.
Oh yeah, dude.
Special teams were awful.
Absolutely killed it, dude.
Turpin,
And they were also very good.
Yeah. If you look at certain people on special teams, Kevontae Turpin, then they were amazing. If you look at other people, I mean, hell, even yeah, exactly. You look at the kicking teams, they not so good, dude. Which didn't we even had? Not that he should have, but technically we had 2 return for touchdowns. That dude at the end of the game, every single person. Honestly, I bet the dude's probably going to be benched. Like, he scored his probably only touchdown that he'll ever have in his career, and he's going to be benched next game and probably a couple games after that because that risks us losing the game. All you got to do when we are already up, Washington's trying to kick that onside kick to get the ball back. You get that ball in your hands, you go down. Because all you have to do now is go down, the game's over. That dude ran it into the end zone, scored a touchdown. They just scored like an 80-something yard touchdown on us. One play, 80-something yard touchdown. And you go out there and give them the ball back? Like,
Yeah,
bro, what are you
and
doing?
He was completely bailed out by that missed extra point.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He makes that extra
100%.
point, send that game into overtime.
Yep.
And that guy's cut tomorrow.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what
100%.
I mean?
And when
that was terrible.
The cameras cut to the coaches after he scored that touchdown, and the special teams coach for the Cowboys looked worried and explaining to Mike McCarthy, who looked pissed. And like just that situation, you're like, okay, so the head coach is fucking pissed. The special teams coach is worried and explaining shit. Like, dude, you are not going to be playing much longer. You are not going to be playing.
That was such a weird game in so many ways. Like, it was really just absolutely insane.
The kick return for a touchdown from Devontae Turpin, where he bobbled the ball, dropped it to the ground, turned around. The only thing I could think of was in Waterboy. At the beginning of Waterboy, when he walks into the room and the coach is watching the replay, and he's like, "Oh, dropped the ball, picked it up, dusted off, got a little time to clean off my pants too here. Oh, yep, we can still get that touchdown." And he's watching the replay of this dude who gets hit and drops the ball, and he bends over and picks the ball up, and he dusts the ball off a little bit, and then he runs it into the end zone, and his defense can't tackle the guy. And that's all I could think of watching Rico Donnell. He caught it, dropped it, oopsie, and pick it up, dust the ball off, do a little spin move, and run it 99 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what was he doing?
It was pretty crazy. But they won, making a lot of Commander fans very, very, very sad.
The touchdown right after, I was ecstatic as the Cowboys fan on that Devontae Turpin touchdown. And then the one play, our defense wasn't looking amazing, but they were looking a lot better, especially with Jaden Daniels to go against. They were looking a lot better. And one play for like 80-something yard touchdown, bro. Come on. Right there, I damn near turned the game off. Like, okay, we're going back to this shit, okay? Oh, we just want to throw the game.
It's a good thing you didn't turn it off.
Yeah, 100%.
The big thing, I was listening to Colin Cowherd. He was saying that Cowboys were good because they were able to pressure Daniels.
Oh yeah,
and get him going early and throwing his offense early.
On that last play, we blitzed. What was it? 2 people or 3 people? I think it was 2, and we almost sacked Daniels twice with a 2-person blitz at the end, because obviously he's going to go for Hail Mary. We get that, so we pressured 2 people, and both of those people almost got their hands on Daniels. Like, it's 5-on-2, and y'all can't stop our guys from getting to your quarterback. Come on.
Yeah, they were definitely hot in the beginning of the season. They've cooled off a little bit, and now now even last week, I think Ray brought it up, and we were questioning. Ray even used the word potential fraud, and so obviously we kind of disagreed or kind of shuddered when he said that. What do you think now?
I think it's more along the lines of, I don't know if I would call him a fraud still, but what I would say is that Jaden Daniels is about to go through a major test that 99.9% of all quarterbacks in the NFL go through, and if he is successful, then awesome. If he isn't, then he's a fraud. But he was amazing at what he did, and now the NFL knows what it is and that it's an easy stop to it.
Yeah,
so
I don't
he has
think
to change it. He can't keep doing the same thing. Oh, no, I don't think he is either. I think it's too early to say, because I think he will change up his game. And with his legs, the way he was moving, it would look great. But the way he was passing so much more and staying in the pocket passing, you could tell he was changing up how he plays the game. And I think that's a reasoning for it.
Let's not act like he had a bad game against Dallas.
Oh, he didn't.
He threw for 275, 2 touchdowns. Now, the 2 interceptions, obviously, those aren't – you want to make corrections there. But on top of that, he had another 74 yards in 7 carries and a touchdown there. So, I mean, he still had a good game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and he was playing different. He wasn't playing a full scramble mode quarterback. He did a lot of pocket passing and stuff like that. It was, like I said, it was different to see Washington playing like that, and I think that's why I'm not going to call him a fraud yet, because, like I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have that one trick, and it might work for a while. Like, perfect example, it only worked for like 3 or 4 fucking games. But what's his face? I don't even remember his name now. The rushing quarterback who ended up going to Tim Tebow. Tebow. Like Tim Tebow. Perfect example of that. Dude, a quarterback who was literally just a running back who could throw the ball 10 to 15 yards semi accurately. The first 2 or 3 games, it killed because nobody understood what was happening. And then after that, everybody figured out his little gimmick, and he was trash. And within like half a season, he was a backup, and like 2 seasons later, he's in Canada.
He was gone.
Yeah, no, I mean, he went to the playoffs his first year.
Well, okay,
he took Denver to the playoffs. He was pretty
for the
solid
first season,
that whole first season.
It worked decently. That's what I said. Once you figure out the person's gimmick, though, it's if they can't change off of one gimmick after the NFL figures it out, they're going to be trash. They're a fraud. And that's what's happening to Jaden Daniels right now. The NFL's kind of figuring out his gimmick. And if he can't change, then it might be another Tim Tebow.
Or maybe another backup, but I mean, he's still young. He's got plenty of opportunities. So
I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's already changing up. I think the dude's got a hell of a lot of talent.
I mean, it's hard to say that he can't be a running quarterback when you got Lamar Jackson winning back-to-back MVPs. So it's not like it's impossible to beat both.
The only difference is, to me, is that Lamar Jackson is a more accurate, deep threat with the ball than Jaden Daniels is. And that's what causes such difference in the rushing game for Lamar Jackson compared to other quarterbacks. If you pull in on Lamar to stop his run, he's going to get a 40 to 50-yard throw on you easy. If you go back to cover those deep throws, he's got legs for days. And he's going to rush really easy on you. So there's always that choice, and he's great at making that choice. And so, I mean, I would say, as they've said so many times over the season already, I see flashes of Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels. Hell yeah, I really do. But I think it's too early to say he's that good.
Yeah, and when I ask about the potential fraud, I'm really not talking about Jaden Daniels per se as much as I am Washington as a whole. Because they did kind of shoot out of the gate, and they were at the bottom of all of our tier lists, and they shot out of the gate, and they were winning, and they were winning a lot of games. Like, we'll talk about another team that I kind of have them in the same category. You got the Chargers. The Chargers have a great record. And if you look at who they've played and who, the teams that are above 500 on the Chargers schedule right now, the Chargers are 1-4.
Mm-hmm.
Any team, they're 6-0 against the teams that are below 500, but the teams that are above 500, they're 1-4 now. So it's like they've got potential fraud alert, and I didn't look at what Washington's was. But I did see that last night on the Monday Night Football game. After the game was over, they were talking about the Chargers, and they were like, hey, look, they've got potential. They've got a good team going. They've got some chemistry moving in the right direction. But when you look at who they've played, they're not beating anybody, not anybody worth value. They're probably going to make the playoffs.
It is a step up from last year, though, based on
step up.
How they lost Keenan Allen. And, a lot of people were saying that they might have a worse season, and they don't know if, their quarterback situation is going to work out there. And now they're, a winning record. Even though it's not against the best teams, they put up a match last weekend. And a lot of people would have just thought, they're going to get slammed, but, it was a close game.
I think anybody that didn't know the Chargers were going to be better this year didn't know who Harbaugh was. Because, they couldn't, the Chargers were pretty ass last year. Harbaugh instantly improves them just by himself.
Their defense, too, the Ravens put up 30 points. but their defense looked pretty effing good. Not necessarily against the run, but I mean, how good can you really look against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson combined? Saying that, they held Lamar Jackson to 8 rushes for 15 yards and a touchdown, and that touchdown was like what, an 8-yard run or something. So I mean, he got like half of his rushing yards on one run. You know,
I mean, Lamar Jackson didn't have to run as much when he had Hill and Henry like both.
Yeah, they were killing
off.
That's
awesome. 4 carries, 55 yards, averaged 13.8 yards a carry, and a touchdown. But the key thing to me was his passing. Because like I have Lamar Jackson fantasy, he did good with his rushing touchdown. He didn't score 35 points, killer shit like that. But it's because they held him to 177 passing yards. Yeah. Like they got a lot of rushing in that game. It's what Baltimore does. But,
yeah, Baltimore won that game in the trenches.
Oh yeah, and like I've said that a lot of times that's how Baltimore dominated the teams last year, and all they did was add Derrick Henry, the best running back in the NFL, onto their team. So you took the number 1 rushing team in the NFL.
I thought that was CMC.
No, CMC is the number 1 overall running back. Derrick Henry is the number 1 rushing back. If you look at Derrick Henry as a combined running back receiver, I think he's probably like number 3. But if you look at an overall running back, Derrick Henry,
take the distinction away. If you're building a team, which one are you got behind? Which one?
Overall, I would take CMC, or I'd even take Kyron Williams over Derrick Henry, and then I would take Derrick Henry third.
Wow, really?
Because both of them are major receiving backs, and a receiving back can change the game that a running back just can't. Like Derrick Henry, don't get me wrong, dude's amazing running back. But if the team says all game, you know what, we're just going to worry about defending the run 90% of the time. We're going to have 2 linebackers every single play on Derrick Henry. I guarantee you Derrick Henry's not going to do much because all he can do is run. But if you have that happening to someone like CMC or Kyron Williams, they can get out in the open and still get passes off at you. Like, they can still break away and do shit.
By the way, I got Kyron Williams off the waiver last year.
Yeah.
He's become a keeper for me. But that's
a good one. That's a hell of a, because I mean he would have been drafted this year.
Oh yeah.
He would have easily been drafted this year.
I mean, that's big thing. Like NFL trend wise, like throughout the years, like the dual threat running back's always better than a single dimension running back in value.
Yeah. I mean, fantasy wise, you definitely. I guess I'm thinking. I get well, and we'll get to. I want to ask the question. I don't think we're quite ready to talk MVP yet, but I do want to ask the question. When you got running backs like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry dramatically improving the teams that they are on the first year that they're on.
Think about this real fast. Saquon Barkley overtook Derrick Henry for rushing yards this season. Think how badass Derrick Henry has been. Saquon Barkley took over rushing yards.
Yeah, with like what, a 255-yard game or something like that.
Fucking killing it.
Over 300
yards. Running backs have been much more over than they were last year, even though wide receivers and quarterbacks have been down for the most part. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, last year it was only CMC doing this.
This week, man, it's surprising. If the Baltimore game this Monday night would have went the way I thought about it passing wise, it still scored a lot. I knew that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a lot of passing by both teams, though. And then it was just a lot of rushing by Lamar and a lot of passing on the other end. But if you take out that one game, honestly, a lot of games this week kind of went a lot heavier in the pass than it did over the last couple of weeks. That was a bit surprising to
me. And I think also the big thing was special teams. Special teams either kill teams or giving teams wins past couple weeks, like in big ways.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of... because I look at the overall weekly, like on the stat pages for betting, I look at the overall who hit their overs, who hit their unders and shit like that. And I would probably say around 60 or 70% of the quarterbacks that were on the price picks all went over on their hits for their yardages for the games. Like it was a pretty decent amount. When over the last month or so, it's been pretty easy to take quarterbacks under because probably 70% of quarterbacks have been going under on Prize Picks on their yardage. Like, it has been pretty bad this year on quarterbacks.
CJ Stroud last year was like every single week you could take like 1.5 or maybe even 2.5 over on the past TDs. Now it's like it's risky to look at that bet at all.
Yeah, and when you see 2 anything on a quarterback that throws for 300 plus yards every week, like he was doing last year, it's like now it's like you can't take that. I haven't bet on hardly any quarterbacks going over yards outside of this week's primetime parlay. I took Baker Mayfield. I think that's the first time I've taken a quarterback. No, I take that back. I think I took Dak once this year too, which that was one of my miss weeks, one of the weeks that I missed. You know, that just quarterbacks have been down,
I surprisingly took Jaden Daniels and Cooper Rush over on a Prize Picks bet, and I thought I was nuts for doing that, dude, and it ended up hitting on that because the 2 of them went over.
The one that surprises me a lot is for the Lions. Like, his team wins a lot, but he doesn't do a lot point-wise.
Sorry, Lobster's calling his ass out.
You take Dak and CD every week, and when they're hurt. Yeah. I let the record show I haven't taken either one of them in like 4 weeks, but I mean, perception is reality, though, isn't it?
They had to bully you out of it.
That's hilarious.
That's all right. Let me bring up the week's pick'ems because we got to celebrate this man Digi here getting his first win of the season.
You know why, right, guys?
And
you don't ever pick against the family.
It was 100%. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the correct picks.
Yep.
10 for me, 10 for Brian, and 10 down there on Q-Swin. And what's the glaring difference? You got 2 of the 3 Cowboy fans that did not take the Cowboys.
Yep. And can I just point out, too, that I was 1 point away from getting the exact Monday Night Football total also. And if that was a missed point attempt.
Yeah. Hey, actually, you know what's funny too is before that game got really interesting right at the very end, because Baltimore scored again and then Chargers scored again. Right before that, Q was actually poised to take the, because I think the total score at that time was 46. So he was only 1 point away, and then Baltimore kicked the field goal and increased their lead, and then the Chargers scored that one touchdown, and so anyway, yeah. So it was definitely it was definitely a close game. I was out, I think,
and just saying too, because Wakko, you can attest to this. All right, because every single week, guys, I don't know if Wakko knows why I do this or not, but every week I send him all my pick'ems, then I send him what I think the Monday Night Football score is going to be, and then a little parenthesis or whatever, I send him the actual score, what I think the actual score of each team is going to be of the game. The reason I do that, by the way, Wakko, is in case there's ever like say Q had also said 54. Well, I would have guessed the exact score of each team. You know what I'm saying? And if you go back and look, Wakko, the score of the game was 30 to 20, 23? Or wait, what was the score? Well, I'll say the score was Ravens 30, Chargers 23.
Yeah, 30-23.
And I said Baltimore would win 30 to 24. Wow. One missed point after attempt.
Wow.
If you would have made that point after attempt, I would have called the exact score of the game by both teams.
Wow. What's going on here?
I know. Yeah, I was like, dude. That was the closest I've ever been on a Monday Night Football.
It only took you 12 weeks to do it.
Yeah, it would happen one of these days, okay? One of these days.
As you can see the Extra Point podcast stats for the whole season, Digital Navy is bringing up the rear.
You know why? You never go against the family, okay? Eventually, family always comes through. It always comes through.
Yeah, you add the if you'd have picked against the Cowboys, you'd be closer to the middle of the pack there.
Yep. That's right.
No, I was picking the Cowboys at the beginning of the season too. Especially, I think I jumped off there. I jumped off picking them last week. Last week was the first week I did not pick the Cowboys. Obviously they got their ass handed to them, and so I 100% expected that to happen again this week. So. Shame on me. Shame. Yeah, I'll walk naked through the town hall, do a little Game of Thrones. Shame. Shame. Yeah, there we go. See, Game of Thrones, shame. She knew what I was talking about. You guys at home knew what I was talking about. Hey, but we started off the week with a huge upset. Look at that. Only one person.
Wow, only Dabs.
Who happens to be the closest person on that list to Cleveland. He must have had some insider info on this one.
He found out Cleveland's defense was coming back, dude. What the hell? I don't know where they've been. I don't know if, like, I'll make the joke. I don't know if Cosby's been pouring their Gatorade or something this season or what's been happening to the Cleveland defense, but he must be gone because this last game, dude, Cleveland's defense woke the F up and looked like they were.
Is goated, bro.
I'm
gonna go home and give me a duh.
No, dude, honestly, maybe Cleveland's defense said, "You know what, dude? We got us a quarterback that can win. Let's actually give a shit."
Yeah, let's play for him. Let's play for him,
dude, because it looked different.
Now, Pittsburgh's still not without their troubles. They won last week, but and didn't even score a touchdown. So. I honestly thought this game was a little tough for me to pick Pittsburgh. Although in the end, I jumped on the Pittsburgh train just like everybody else. But I admit that Dab's pick, although on our sheet here, he looks like he's crazy. It wasn't that crazy of a pick. I'm actually surprised he was the only person to actually do it. And he was the only one to get it right, too. So hats off to him. Obviously, we don't even have to talk about Kansas City, Carolina. That game was over before it started. It looked kind of close in score, but there was a lot of garbage time points by Carolina.
Well, at the end, they only won by a field goal.
That's what I mean. But Carolina scored like 13 of their points in the fourth quarter when the game was well out of hand. So...
Okay, a game you want to talk about? How about we talk about the overtime game, Vikings versus Bears? Caleb Williams with his new offensive coordinator 2 weeks in a row. It's like the flip of Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels went whoop, and now he's going like this. Caleb Williams was going whoop, 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 whoop. New offensive coordinator. It's kind of coming back up now. It's kind of killing it over the last couple of weeks, man.
But also
340 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
It's also 2 times in a
against
row
the Vikings defense.
Field goal.
Yeah, against
back lost field goals.
Oh yeah, no, that too. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying though, man. Like if you look at just say the quarterback play, right? Sam Darnold over the year has been a really good quarterback. He's been really good. 330 yards, 2 touchdowns in that game. Great, dude. Caleb Williams 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Caleb Williams 6 rushes, 33 yards also, and he was hitting multiple receivers multiple times, where it wasn't just like 13 receivers where 8 of them got 1 catch, and then like it was like 7 catches, 9 catches, 7 catches, 5 catches, 3 catches. Like he was throwing them to the people that needed to get them, and kept hitting them.
Yeah,
like I said,
that's good.
Cole Kmet, what was it, 25 yards or some shit they had Cole Kmet? Dude, the last 2 weeks he's gone over like 50 or 60 yards.
Yeah, they got a little bit of a spark in them. Yeah, it's good to see Chicago figuring it out.
I think it goes to show, like we've talked about before, that a single coach can make a difference for a player. That offensive,
well, especially a young player like that,
Caleb Williams.
They need time to develop, man. Every quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. With such a massive change, this offensive coordinator, I'm guessing, and I don't know this, I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing maybe this offensive coordinator has coached with Caleb before, like a college coach or something like that, or maybe knows him on a personal level or something, because he came in there and instantly Caleb 180'd.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know who the guy is. So
3 weeks ago, he was throwing 80 yards a game, no touchdowns.
Because
2
from
weeks
like
ago, 300 yards. Last week, 300 yards. Like,
from a fantasy perspective, and even watching the game, sometimes it's hard to tell. All you see is, and this player is just playing ass, but you don't see behind that everything that they're going through, everything that they're reading, how different it is, all that type of shit. I just feel like with Caleb Williams, he's the quarterback where, he's this top end prospect. I just like this whole season, I still haven't believed that it would continue to be this way. And also, I think that at the same time, he's also got a little bit of fire under him because people, reportedly were saying that, they're talking about starting Bajan. And so maybe that also motivated him a little bit. And he was like, no, I ain't going to lose my spot that fast. And so, and even if the coaching isn't too different, it's a little bit of motivation just running the scheme differently, having someone else there in your corner because he's a diva player. So they could have been beefing. We don't know what's going on, behind the scenes and everything like that. So he might be one of those players where people kind of got to cater to him a little bit more. Hopefully not as bad as like it's been with Aaron Rodgers and stuff
maybe
like
that's
that.
what it is. Maybe the offensive coordinator came in there and said, "Hey, Mr. Williams, what do you want to do? What's your play calls that you want to do? What plays do you like to run?"
With how skilled he was
I
in
doubt
college, you got to give it a little bit of a chance. You know what I'm saying? You got to, like, the
Whatever the hell
Bears
they're
have already
doing.
been on the downhill. It's like, throw whatever. Sometimes they try and
something's
force it
working
on
with
them.
her, dude.
Yeah, the Bears need to get over this bad luck of them losing to field goals at the very end of games, like this 2 times in a row now.
Also, on this topic about
you can't let it be close, or that's just gonna happen.
Yep.
Dude, on the topic of quarterbacks, I just wanted to talk about this real quick too because I thought this was hilarious. I sent it in the Discord. The Raiders reached out to Daniel Jones and they said, "Hey, are you interested in joining us?" He said no. He said he wants to join a winning team. You do not get to pick and choose, Danny Dimes. You're not Danny Dollar, you're Danny Dimes. So
listen, I understand his thinking, okay, Janu. What he's probably thinking is, look, I want to join a playoff team because I'm going to be on the bench.
I bet he does.
I'm not going to play. I'm not going to be a starter anywhere. Why do I want to be Las Vegas's backup and never even get to the playoffs? I want to be the backup for like Kansas City. That way, maybe I can get a Super Bowl ring on the bench.
If you're Danny Dimes, the only mindset you can have is I've been playing ass for my entire career. I'm lucky to get a starting job anywhere. And for a team to reach out to you specifically that fast and say, hey, we want you to play for us, you should be like, I'm taking that. I'm taking that role, especially with the Raiders who are a building team, They have, a young offense around them and stuff like that. A lot of new players. They got Brock Bowers and stuff like that going on offense who's been killing it.
Can you imagine for a second that you're a Giants fan and your team let go Saquon Barkley, who is dominating for your divisional rival?
Now that's not think Danny Dimes is going to go and dominate.
You paid Daniel Jones, who you cut days ago, and so neither one of those guys is on your team now.
Yep.
That's crazy.
They put all of their money on Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, and now Barkley's playing for the Eagles, and Danny Dimes is playing for the couch.
I mean, if you're a Giants, I want somebody in the chat to just, you're probably too embarrassed to say so, but I want somebody in the chat to say, I'm a Giants fan, and yes, I am absolutely miserable right now.
The only person I even know
how could you possibly be happy?
That is a Giants fan is a buddy of mine, Tim. 10 times is his name online. I play like Overwatch with him and shit. He lives in out there, and he's a Giants.
You're not gonna dox him now. I mean, like,
Right, like
I mean, come on.
I'm calling him out because I haven't talked to him in a while, and I know he's a Giants fan, and I'm sure he's probably ostriching right now.
Like, this is his first name, last name, wife's name.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
He lives out there in New York, so
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of do hope that Danny Dimes gets on a good team so that I can actually see how he plays somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, I don't have the full confidence that this guy is going to be, the next stud in the NFL, but, and it's not an excuse for him because he's been there for so long. He's a veteran quarterback at this point. He's been in the league for like freaking 6 years, but he has always been on an ass team. It's always been on a terrible team, the Giants. Giants have always had shitty situations. It's always been mainly just Saquon Barkley. Some of their weapons have been decent. When they get in the groove, they do better. Like at the beginning of the season, it looked like he was actually starting to play better. But I'm sure as well, with how bad he's been playing, I'm sure that, coaching staff and players and all that, even though they may not say it too much, I know everyone's getting tired of him, and you can kind of feel it. It's probably pretty demotivating. They put him on somewhere that's a contender. He's got no excuses, especially if he's a backup like he's trying to be, on a good team. And then he still does ass. Like, what do you do after that? It'd be interesting to see.
IB says he got a guy from his high school that plays for the Giants.
Oh,
Ooh.
Call him up. I want to.
You tell.
IB knows everybody, dude.
You tell.
I want to. Hey, let's see if we can get him on the show.
Right?
Is he a starter?
Carter Coughlin. What's his face too, man? The
know
linebacker from Tampa Bay.
It's a pretty good, stout high school then.
Right?
Hey,
and he got slapped around by Adrian Peterson also when he was a kid. So
that's true. That's true. So
I keep escalating it every time I say that.
Dabs also had the foresight for his own team. He's actually a Tennessee team. He's not a fan. He's not actually a Cleveland fan. That's just his backup team because he's proximity. But he was the one and only person to get that game right too. Janu, you're the resident Texan fan. What has going on in Houston?
Same thing that I've been saying every single week. It's the same shit. CJ Stroud will continue to sit there and blame himself for everything, and I don't think it's all CJ Stroud. I wish that I knew more about this on the coaching side of things. I really don't. I don't know if they changed offensive coordinators or whatever they started mixing around, but their offensive scheme that was working last year, they're not running it the same. And the Titans kept up on offense where, the Texans couldn't. And they need to get everybody a lot more involved in the air. That's the only way. They need to play more risky football, more pass-heavy football, more deep threats. They need to keep the team on their toes, and that's just something that, they're not doing. So it's definitely a flip to see, the Titans out of all teams actually put up. But somebody that really was a big game changer is my boy, freaking Tony Pollard, man. Tony Pollard was an absolute beast that game. And, shout out to him. Definitely made a huge difference on everything that was going on offense. So
I didn't like the way Pollard, left Dallas. Like not, I didn't like him leaving Dallas. Honestly, I didn't think that. I thought he should have stayed here. So I am like low key happy for him having a good season over there in Tennessee. Not gonna lie, I hate rooting
Should've
for
never gotten rid
Cowboys
of
on other teams.
Tony Pollard.
In the case that like it wasn't really their choice to leave, I don't mind when they get to a new home and do well. I was like, contrast that when back in the day when DeMarco Murray left to go to Philadelphia and then bombed after he was, the rushing leader with the Cowboys, and he held out and wanted to go win a Super Bowl and went over to Philly and just bombed. Like, I celebrated that. But
that
Pollard,
was the first season we got Tyron Smith. and we had finally started getting an offensive line around us. And the year before, DeMarco Murray was a backup and not very good, and then got the start right as we got a decent offensive line. So that first year, no one understood that the Cowboys were actually going to be a good rushing team. So DeMarco Murray was able to kill it, and not necessarily kill it, but he did really.
He killed it.
He did really
was the rushing
good.
leader that
It's like,
year.
it wasn't like a 2,000-yard rushing season or anything like that. It was like, what, 1,600 yards or some shit like that. It was good. It was really good. But because of that, he took it as, that was all me. I'm a superstar. Look what I did with this Dallas Cowboys offensive line. So I want a bunch of money. And the Cowboys said, nah, we're not going to do that. So another team paid him, and it wasn't him. It turned out it wasn't DeMarco Murray. And it turned out it was our offensive line, who over the next couple of years got built even stronger and stronger. And then we got Zach Martin, got even better. And we just kept building up that amazing offensive line, and that's kind of when it was proven. But yeah, I loved that too. Fuck you, DeMarco Murray. I mean, it was all me. I want the big bucks, or I'm going to leave. The Cowboys was going to leave.
2014, he had 1,845 yards that year.
Yeah, he did good.
Especially the fun part was seeing Chip Kelly fall apart. You know, like this big guy coming. Oh, I'm dig my britches, and he fell apart. You know.
The next year, he played 15 games out of 16. He only started 8 of them, and he only rushed for 702 for Philly the year after. Like, I've never celebrated a player's downfall like as heavily as I celebrated that year. Like I really, I'm almost ashamed at how much I celebrated the fall of DeMarco Murray because of that.
That's such a dick move.
But I digress. Let's talk about current times. Firestorm's not here for us to ask about Miami versus New England, but he didn't pick New England to win, so no surprise that everybody else most of us got that one right with picking Miami. Obviously, Tampa Bay Giants, that was a no-brainer.
Hold on, wait for it. You ready? Okay, there we go. We just discussed the Tampa Bay game longer than it was actually worth watching.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I think I said that before we actually started the stream. I was like, dude, the Tampa Bay game was about 4 seconds. He walked out there, Baker Mayfield looked at the defense, and then said, "Hut, game's over." Right there. As soon as that ball touched his hand, game's over.
Yep.
And then, obviously, we already talked about the Dallas game. Denver, we're still Bo leaving and Bo Nix, I guess.
Yeah,
why not? Good.
I mean, there he is again.
Okay, so, and this is getting to the point with me, by the way, guys, where I'm almost to the, you can't say it anymore, Firestorm. Oh, I was about to say it. That breaks my heart. Death, taxes, and not Derrick Henry. It's getting to that point now where you can almost say that shit about Bo Nix every week, because Bo Nix was like such a late round quarterback pick. He was the last quarterback pick to the first round. Every week, the betting sites have him at like 200 yards, 190 yards, 195 yards. And every week, the dude throws for like 240, 250, 300. Like, he's killing it every week. I'm starting to feel that dude is almost as free of a pick on taking him over in yards as Derrick Henry on touchdowns.
They don't want people to hit those unders on him, man.
Yeah, seriously. Nobody's going to get hitting unders on him.
Yeah, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Raiders. I mean, it is just the Raiders, so you know it's not you're not writing home about that. But still, I mean, he continues to do work, and it's impressive.
And just looking at his stats right here, and these are just games by yards: 273, 307. He had 215 versus the Chiefs, and then a 220, 284, 164. He finally went under 200. 216, 206. A 60-yard game against the Jets, horrible. 216, 246, and then 138. So take away his 60-yard trash-ass game against the Jets, he's had 2 games all season where he's gone under 2, 164 and 138. Yeah. Every other game on the season, he's gone over 200 yards. And still, every week, the betting websites have him at like 190, 205, shit like that.
Keep that in mind, Degens.
Yeah, keep that in mind. It's getting a little crazy to me, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
He's also got a good setup there with the coach there. It's like a good team that's like finally gelling together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sean Payton,
Sean
right?
Payton, yeah.
Yeah. He was there last year with Russell Wilson, and I'm starting to think that maybe there's something to that. Maybe Sean Payton and Russell Wilson didn't jive, because now they're both. Sean Payton's Broncos are doing way better than I think most people anticipated them to be. In fact, this is what I think a lot of people thought we might see last year when he had the veteran Russell Wilson, that he might be able to turn him around and have a productive season with him, and it just failed. And it was like, wait, I thought this was Sean Payton, and then you see what happened now, and you see what Russell Wilson's doing over in Pittsburgh. Maybe the two of them just weren't a good fit. They weren't a good match. I mean, there's no way to know that, but that's what it looks like to me.
I think Russell Wilson probably, and this is just, of course, me guessing. I think Russell Wilson might have had that mindset of, I've won my Super Bowl. I know what I'm talking about. I know how I can pass. I know what my wide receiver should be doing. I've won a Super Bowl. I've been there. I've done that. I'm Russell Wilson. And Sean Payton came in and said, I've won a Super Bowl, bro. I'm Sean Payton. I know what I'm talking about. You're going to pass it how I tell you to pass it. And I really just think they might have been clashing heads. And they might have not have gotten along.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be a little far-fetched just because you know how humble of a person Russell Wilson has been his entire career.
Lately.
And Sean Payton's not really much of a hothead personality.
But you look at
either.
Seattle. Seattle was a young team at the time that shouldn't have even been Super Bowl quality. And Russell Wilson walked in there and changed the game for him, took him to the Super Bowl. Then he goes over there, plays like trash for two head coaches. The first one gets fired. Then Sean Payton comes in, doesn't work for him either. Now he goes over here to the Steelers, to a head coach that is widely known for saying, either you do it my way or you get the fuck out.
Yeah, I think some organizations really just know how to work with strengths of players better, or just fit whatever works for them better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By building players around them that fit them, personality-wise, group effort,
being able to come into that group.
Scheme.
The rookie, young quarterback, ready to be molded, coming into Sean Payton. He is a lot more likely to say, yeah, Sean Payton, hell yeah, I'll do whatever the hell you say. Whereas Russell Wilson might have been like, maybe.
Dude, my degenerate ass took Russell Wilson and Justin Fields on the late rounds of my draft so many times, and Justice Hill a lot for the up weeks, but I took them a lot as my second and third string quarterback for best ball, dude. I'm just happy to see that Russell Wilson ain't ass is actually starting playing football.
Yeah,
because those are free picks at the end of the day. Your main quarterback's injured or out, and you take all these other wide receiver backups and running backs. You ain't got nobody else at the end. People are sleeping on that.
And he also fits the Steelers well. He just fits that culture there well.
The
it works.
Other game, obviously San Francisco Green Bay, that was
Injury
that had potential to be like an incredible game. Like if you're just thinking San Francisco Green Bay, then you remember that San Francisco right now is like in pieces. They obviously one more injury added to the list is they didn't have their quarterback this week. So who was the guy that started? I can't.
Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Backup.
I really don't.
Backup.
Who? Where was he last year? Like who is this guy? Is he new in the league?
Let's see.
Like I'm being dead serious. I don't know who this guy is. Like I know that's probably sad. I'm running, hosting a.
Yeah, I thought that
NFL podcast, but I don't know. This
Brandon Allen was drafted in 2016. Brandon Duck Allen.
Allen.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I was like, why didn't they play Dobbs? Why didn't they play Dominator? I thought that he was, but apparently he's third string.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 6th round of the 2016 draft.
Wow.
Yeah, they're tripping.
This guy's been in the league for 8 years, and I have no clue who he is. That's backup status right there.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, outside of what was that 2 years ago when Cooper Rush, probably a lot of people outside of Dallas had no clue who Cooper Rush was either until he won 4 games in a row.
Apparently, he played for the Bengals. We should have known who he was. He was the backup for
last year.
Maybe. It says, okay, so this is his career stats. He didn't play at all until 2019. He had 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions for the Broncos. And then in 2020, he had 925 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions for the Bengals. In 2021, 140.
That's right. He was in.
That's
He
what I say. He
took over for Burrow that year.
That's why I was like, we should have remembered him because apparently, yeah, he played for the Bengals.
I was thinking of Jake Browning, the one that took over for Burrow last year. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
of.
because 2021, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Bengals. And then 2022, 22 yards, no touchdowns for the Bengals. And then he has not played again until yesterday, or Sunday, excuse me.
Yeah,
the 49ers
wow.
game.
Wow.
I completely forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
he's had a career combined total before that game of 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions in 8 years. But 200 yards a year.
Him and a bunch of spares and a few broken people got on the field and lost the game to Green Bay. So
don't forget, guys, apparently he played in the very first game of the season also. He had 1 rushing attempt for a -1 yards.
Oh, jeez.
The very first game of this season, he rushed 1 time for a -1 yard.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say at this point that San Francisco's in real trouble. If they don't get healthy fast, their seasons it's on a nosedive right now because they
one
can't
of those things, man.
have an easy schedule this year.
If you have 2 superstar wide receivers, superstar tight end, superstar running backs, superstar defense, all this a pretty damn good quarterback, but then quarterback's injured, your running back misses 10 weeks, your wide receivers get injured, your tight end gets injured. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there, 1 or 2 superstar things left that you got for your team.
Ayuk is out. He was out for the season early. Debo has been hurt off, and Debo has been hurt.
That's what I say. The wide receivers aren't worth anything
all
right
season.
Now.
Kittle's missed a couple games down the stretch. Now you got the quarterback, and
then
I saw this thing and said, imagine and the day that Ricky Parcell got shot when he was getting took into that ambulance. Imagine somebody looking at him and saying, "Hey, by the way, in about 10 weeks, you're going to probably be the starter for San Francisco, the first string wide receiver.
You're the wide receiver 1, bro.
Dude, there's so many injuries going on with San Francisco right now. Oh, we got shot in the chest, and he's going to be their number 1 wide receiver."
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, hey, I hate to celebrate people's downfall when it's when it's injury related, but the San Francisco 49ers beat us 2 years in the playoffs, so screw them.
They were missing. Jordan Mason was able to step up because they still had their tight ends. They still had most of their wide receivers. They still had almost everybody.
Oh, he's hurt too, by the way.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the more and more and more the injuries started piling up for San Francisco.
But also, San Fran's been the mass unit for the past couple of years. They have all the players are hurt. The other players are hurt. It's like an ongoing cycle.
I didn't catch the Sunday night game at all. Was it exciting outside of Saquon Barkley, or was it just him playing all by himself? And did he score all 37 points, or like
the fun part was he got the touchdown for like the 255 yards. He gave the ball to a fan, and the video footage of them saying, "Where's the football? I gave it away." He's like, "Damn it!" You can see him like face, like he gave away the ball. Record game.
Insane. 255 yards, 2 TDs. He averaged 9.81 yards, bro.
That is
ridiculous. An absolute monster. Did he backwards hurdle anybody in this one? I mean,
what else can he do? He had to do that.
They put in Madden. You can do that in Madden now.
Yeah, I heard they were adding that little juke to the Madden. That's pretty awesome. He's just a beast. We've already talked about
Not to
how much
randomly think
the
that,
Giants
but
hate themselves right now.
I don't know if college football did this because of him also or not. I've been playing college football lately, and they've had the hurl ability already on college football. And earlier, like yesterday or today, I was playing college football and scrambling as my quarterback. I hurled into the end zone, and my dude jumped up and put his hand down and turned around backwards as he did the hurdle and went over the two backwards. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? He backwards hurdled somebody." Like, I don't know if they added that in there also, or if they've already had it in there, or what. But I've never had that happen on college football up until right then. I've hurdled like 20 people.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy what he's doing in Philadelphia. I can't root for him because he's still playing for a rival. But it's pretty magical watching him work. I just cannot believe a team would let a guy like that go. I really just don't understand. But that goes back to what we've been saying for a couple years now, is how running backs, they're even the best ones, their value is just not well enough appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
You got CMC changing teams, you got Derrick Henry changing teams, you got Saquon Barkley changing teams. Like, it's crazy, man.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, Dabs. Yeah, we were talking about that.
We were like, imagine getting rid of Saquon Barkley so that you can keep Danny Dimes just to cut him.
Yeah, and now they have neither. It's absolute real kick in the pants, bro. Welcome in, Daddy Dabs. Also, Daddy Dabs, member of the THF Extra Point team when he's not working, which is every Tuesday.
He goes to work every Tuesday at 8:25 p.m.
Yeah, just so he can avoid us. We were bragging on Dabs earlier today because he had the Cleveland and the Tennessee pick. He was the only one that picked either one of those and got them both right. Both of his teams.
He still lost. He's my rival, dude. I gotta call that on that.
Ouch, savage. We all of this real world football had some fantasy consequences for us. Here's a little recap of our THF Fantasy Football League Week 12. I got stomped again. In fact, my loss this week qualified as the biggest blowout of the week. First time that's happened to me all season long. So I guess I'll go ahead and take my licks. But I didn't drop any further down. Thankfully, I'm still in a playoff spot. Because last week when my wife beat me, I dropped from 1st to 5th. So
she's always right, you know.
That line's gonna make me laugh every time because it's just a statement of fact.
Dude,
last week my wife beat me.
Ray last week was on top of the world, and now he's not here to see how he's all the way down at the bottom. Talking about how I dropped Joe Burrow, then I picked up the guy he dropped, and he gave me 30. Anyways, that's a crazy fall off in a week.
Now we saw Firestorm's not here this week.
Yeah, because now this week my wife beat him.
Exactly.
Benches be tripping, and here she is. Everyone to do the show got a beat down from me. Did I break fantasy? Can I even be stopped at this point? Are you ashamed of yourselves?
You're living the league, Wakko. You still haven't watched it. You're living the league.
I'll get around to it.
Don't worry, Wakko. I'll take your wife out for you.
Yeah.
If we're talking about divisions,
I'll make it in there.
Avengers were 3, 5,
already
7,
played
1, 6, and 6.
I think I beat her, didn't I?
Did you? Are you one of her 3 losses?
I lost to her.
I think so.
I lost to her.
I'm going to look along. Let's see.
We're fact checking you.
I'm fact checking right now too. I think I beat her.
But,
let me see.
Janu, you pulled out a sneaky one there, only winning by less than 2 points.
Yeah, I deserve it after some of the bullshit has been going on this season. I lost by a
Oh
point.
shit! I lost to her.
I lost by a single point one week, so this is good. Yeah, I did beat her. I beat her week 4.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
She had Chris Godwin and Joe Mixon go off and score like 78, 75, 80 points or something. She still only beat me by like 15.
Well, her revenge was complete with beating up on Ray this week because Ray was the one that dissed her team in like week 2. said something about how she inherited a winning team or a second place team, but what he didn't realize is that she only had 3 keepers, and so she built the whole team.
Like I have to sleep in a bed with her, so she's
been taking that personal.
I bet. Should I beat him?
She's done everything herself. Okay?
Yeah.
That's cold.
That's
Lost
And-
not once but twice.
She said it's a little sus that Ray's not here to defend himself.
Right? I'm telling you, dude.
I'll tell him to watch the YouTube tomorrow. And
Give him
then
the timestamp.
so who's our biggest loser this
Okay,
week?
so
That's fine.
Oh, that's right. It's Ray.
Thank you, Ray, for losing.
Yeah,
So I don't get renamed.
I was giving Lobster some shit earlier today while we were driving around town, and she was like, she was talking about how she won this week and got her revenge again on Ray, and I was like, but Ray was the biggest loser. That's like you had the easiest win, and she's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Hey, you know what? W is a W.
Yep.
Dude, and I gotta say too, I had 2 tight ends that were out. Komet came back at the end. He was questionable though, so I could have started him at the end, but I had both of them questionable, and so I had to grab a 3rd tight end this week, and that's what won me in the end. Was Disley on the Chargers was a last-second pickup from me, and he got me just enough for me to win. So yeah, it was definitely a close one.
Yeah, super close. Anytime you're winning a game by less than 2 points, man, that's like a shoo.
So right now I have 3 tight ends sitting on my team right now.
Yeah, last
I
week
have
was a hell of a
someone.
bye week. 6 teams on bye, so that
Yeah, just
really.
by the way, one of the people, he didn't want to brag about it, but one of the people that beat your wife was her son.
Oh, he did brag about it.
Oh,
He just
yeah,
said,
I didn't hear
he
it.
just said it.
I just want to brag about it again because I think it's funny.
I mean, I guess I didn't boast and all, but yeah, I did.
Anyone's
But
win,
no,
right?
I will say that it's kind of hilarious. So this week, right? So it was all user error. If I would have lost, it would have been completely my fault. It would have sucked, this and that. But so I was checking times before Roquan Smith kept being listed as questionable. I was like, okay, he might play. Monday, like 5:45, 5:50 something. I'm about to hop on Fortnite. I check. He's still listed as questionable. No update. Cool. I'm just gonna leave him in. So I didn't change my defensive player. He got listed as out, so I had no defensive player. So if I would have lost by 2 or 3 points, right, it would have sucked because I did pick up another defensive player to start, and it was Baltimore safety. He only got me 3.5 on my bench. So at best, I would have had 3.5. But say I lost by 1 or 2 points, I would have been fucking pissed that I had that 3.5 points sitting on my bench.
Yeah.
And this week, Jacob here won by like 2 points. So
Yep.
perfect situation
It
happened.
can make a difference.
Yep, 2 or 3 points can make a big difference.
Speaking of injuries, Q-Swin, you got some injury updates for us this week?
Yes, I do. So I broke into the pretenders and the contenders. So for your pretenders, you have Gardner Minshew, quarterback for the Raiders, who's out for the year with a fractured left collarbone. That's a tough break for the Raiders season there.
Yeah, right.
Danny Dimes don't want him either. Nobody wants him now.
And then you have also Cedric Tillman with the Browns, who is on concussion protocol week to week, or he's questionable right now on Yahoo. Yeah, Josh Downs with the Colts, wide receiver, right shoulder injury, who's doubtful for week 13.
Yeah, that's a beating for me.
And then tight end, you have Jatavian Sanders, I think that's her name. Neck injury, who's likely out for multiple weeks for the Panthers. So all three of those are questionable on Yahoo. For your contenders, you have Washington, both of their starters. You have Eckler, who is on concussion protocol, who right now there's no likely timeline for return.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't figure out
Robinson.
what happened to him.
It was the very last hit of the game, dude. That he was an idiot. Not to interrupt the injuries. The very last play of the Cowboys game, right, where we got that onside kick and he ran it in for a touchdown, and we had to kick the ball off. There's 10 seconds left in the game. The smartest thing for you to do is call a fair catch so your team gets on the 35-yard line. Let your offense go out there and try to score a touchdown. Austin Eckler decides to take the ball out, runs it out about 15, 20 yards and gets fucking leveled. He looked like he died. He was laying on the ground face first, not moving. They called everybody ran out there. They had to pause the game.
They didn't replay it or anything. That's why I was like, what happened? I don't know what happened.
It was just a normal hit, dude. It was just a normal straight up, he got hit.
But the fact that they weren't replaying it, that's why I was like, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't replay it either.
Neck snap?
It wasn't. It was a badass hit, dude. It was a really good hit. And he hit the ground, dude, and he just wasn't moving. And
I just totally missed that.
That's why I was like, dude, that was the dumbest fucking injury I think I've seen in years. There's 10, 15 seconds left in the game, and you take the ball out? What is that 10 to 15 extra yards that you're going to get off that run going to help your team when you're eating 6 or 7 seconds? What are you doing, dude? Anyway, sorry. Yeah, that's where that concussion came from.
Yeah, and then you also have Brian Robinson, who has a right ankle sprain, but he's still healthy on Yahoo Fantasy for some reason. I don't know why they have him as that, but then the big thing with that is then Jeremy Nichols is going to be possible running back 2 for the Commanders with that. Lions, you have Montgomery running back because of minor shoulder injury, but he's likely to play Thursday, questionable on Yahoo. And then you also then have J.K. Dobbins, who kind of crapped the bed for me. He has a left knee injury, situation monitor, questionable on Yahoo. Last time I checked. Then you have Romeo Doubs, who is concussion protocol week to week for the Packers. So
and we've got 3 games coming up on Thursday this week to monitor. So that obviously, Cowboys, Lions always play on Thanksgiving. The Giants, who else is playing? So all those Miami and Green Bay. So there's a lot of short week, not a lot of recovery time.
One of the things that didn't get mentioned in the injury thing, because I think it was a little bit of a later entry on the thing, Mon-Ross St. Brown, because it's a Thursday game that he's playing. It's the Bears versus the Lions on Thursday. He's apparently got a bit of a knee injury also, and he was very limited at their practice today. So it's one of those, it's not necessarily saying that Mon-Ross is not going to play, but with it being a really short week, it's still a long season for them. Who knows? He is questionable, though.
Yeah, Dabs, it is top 6 to go to playoffs in our league. Yes, sir. Yeah, and keep in mind, Navy, it's Thanksgiving, so the Chicago-Detroit game is at 11:30 in the morning, and then you got the Dallas and Giants play at 3:30.
Parlays all day long, baby.
Yep. And then you got nighttime.
I haven't parlayed in weeks, and I'm waiting to do it here.
Yeah, nighttime is the Miami Green Bay game, which kind of leads us into our pick'ems for this week. And this is kind of obviously this is to all of my subscribers that want to play pick'ems with us on Twitch. Pick'ems are due tomorrow night by midnight, so don't sleep on your pick'ems. They're not going to be accepted on Thursday because the games will already be going. It's Turkey Day, baby. We don't do spreadsheets on Thursday morning. We cook turkey. So Wednesday at midnight, everything's due. If they're not in, you're not playing.
The one thing I noticed is it should be Cleveland versus Denver, right?
Huh?
You have Cincinnati versus Denver.
Oh, do I have Cincinnati? Oh, shoot. My bad.
Yeah, it should be Cleveland, I think.
Yeah.
Did you just now notice that?
I did.
Okay. I was going to say, if you noticed that, why didn't you tell me?
I supposed to now.
All right, I'll get that fixed. So, yeah, Damn it! That means I gotta fix the Monday Night Football squares too, because I have Cincy on those. All right, well,
He's taking Miami, huh?
Taking Miami and Lambeau. Ooh, damn!
That's a good pick.
That is
Miami is not a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
But in
They
Lambeau,
are a
dude,
good team. I don't care. Miami is a team that I feel like can upset anybody, anywhere, at any time. They are ecstatic on offense. Their team is crazy. They have one of the most unique teams in the NFL.
okay, you know why though, dude? It's not fair. It's because Tua's brain is now a witch's brew potion.
He decides when he wants
a witch. They're brewing his brain around with a straw for so long.
It just moves around when he gets hit. So sometimes he's like, Duke, and he doesn't know how to play football. Then he gets hit back again. He's like, wait, I'm back. Guys, I'm back.
Wait. So I let me just say this. I won't take up the time to look myself right now, but you better check the weather because Miami does not play worth a damn
is good for
in the cold.
concussions.
Miami does not play worth a damn in the cold. So keep that in mind. And it is Lambeau, the absolute coldest
31 degrees, 60% humidity with an 80% chance of rain. So it looks like it is definitely going to snow.
Yeah, that's Green Bay all day, boys.
Yeah, so 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's Green Bay all day, boys.
By 10 a.m., the humidity's down to 56% chance, but it's 26 degrees then. And
so yeah, Dabs, you go ahead and pick Miami.
Lambeau Field in the snow.
You know, Janu, you want to pick Miami? You go right ahead too. All right?
Concussion in the snow.
Hey, the ground's got to be softer, right? Apparently, with those dream helmets that they make them wear now, they're saying that hits on the outside of the helmet is what causes concussions. So snow should help.
Can I just say about the second Thanksgiving game? If Dallas goes out there and loses to the Giants after they just beat Washington,
it can happen, which is a sad thing.
With Danny freaking DeVito as a quarterback.
Danny DeVito, I love it.
Danny DeVito.
That's what they kept calling him last week, dude. They kept calling him. It's Tommy DeVito and Danny Dimes.
Danny DeVito sounds kind of clean, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
well, it's already an actor, though.
I lost track at number 8, or maybe that's why they kept doing it. It was like 8 or 9 times into the game when the commentator was like, "And Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito, there." He kept doing it too.
They're used to saying Daniel
Danny
Jones.
DeVito could beat us,
but they're used to saying Daniel Jones when they're
that's
talking about
it's obviously slipping, but it's still.
But that's hilarious. I wish I'd have caught that. That's Danny's son.
He's gonna need time to develop there. I don't know how long that's gonna take. He just started
DeVito?
last week. Yeah,
DeVito's been playing for the Giants. He's taken over for Jones before.
But he's been a backup. He hasn't been a starter. It's a lot different.
He's a nobody.
Starting.
He's not gonna develop.
Dude, it's a lot. It is a lot different being a starter in the NFL continuously versus a backup continuously. You don't practice with the same people every week. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the NFL defenses, the game.
He's going to be relegated back to being a backup as soon as next year starts.
But apparently last year he threw for 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Last year,
2023 with the Giants, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
He's had plenty of opportunities to take that job.
I didn't know he played that much for them last year. What was Danny Dimes freaking injured or something last year?
Injured or benched?
God,
yeah, he was the third
trying to be a
last
freaking
year.
GQ model.
He was the third option last year. He came in after everyone because there was all those injuries.
But I will say,
last week he was only serviceable. So he's going. That's why I say he's only going to need to develop with the team a little bit. So I don't know if he's going to be able to beat the Cowboys coming on to a second week, starting. But I don't know. Never know.
I'm calling it now, dude. Drew Lock's going to go out there and be the starter.
Yeah, Drew Lock's going to pay $5 million to sit and be a backup.
Honestly, I'm not even joking about that, dude. I would almost put $20 to $30 on it that Locke might come out there and be starter on Thanksgiving. I think they saw what they wanted to see and are going to be like, dude, even the announcers were so disappointed in him that they couldn't remember his name. He's not going to be our starter, dude. Like, let's try Locke. Let's try. I mean, Locke went out there and made one pass of that game. Let's see what Locke does, dude. Maybe it's a lock for them.
Then he had neighbors
Womp
calling out the Giants, which was like hilarious.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
hear him calling out the
that.
Giants.
No, he was saying they were like soft as
What?
F. Like it was funny seeing him call out the team like that. You know.
You're gonna have to send me that because I did not see that.
Yeah,
I saw
I'll
him.
find sent to you.
I saw him owning up to like his own issues and saying he needs to figure it out and that the team just needs to work better. I didn't see him saying all that.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, the any other games on the list jump out at you except for besides the Cleveland Denver where I got Cincinnati playing twice?
I mean, honestly, the
Seems
only
like a
other
lot of
game
garbage.
the only game that I would, and I hate to even have to fucking say this as a diehard Cowboys fan, so please nobody clip me saying this, but I think the game of the week to watch is going to end up being the Philly versus Baltimore game. Those are two teams that play a lot of the same offensive style. Philly is a super rush heavy team with the ability to pass deep because of their quarterback, and Baltimore is a super heavy rush team with the ability to pass deep because of their quarterback. So it's like you're going to see two powerhouse rushing teams going out there, and I think it's honestly going to be by the end of the game who has the most time of possession who's going to win the game.
Yeah, I think Baltimore probably has the edge on defense there, don't you think?
A little bit, but I mean their defense isn't amazing. Saquon Barkley has been destroying people lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Saquon going off for 255 yards against Baltimore.
But I could see it being a game where the Eagles as a team finish with like 175 rushing and Baltimore finishes with like 250 rushing.
All right, write that down, folks.
Right? I can see it being a very rush-heavy game.
Let's call his ass out next week.
Right? I mean, figure 150 yards from Derrick Henry and another 50 by Lamar Jackson. That's 200 yards from two people right there. You don't even throw in the backups on that.
Honestly, from a fantasy point, as long as they shut down Lamar Jackson, I'm good to go.
I'm sure you are, asshole.
Because I'm playing you this week. So as long as they shut down Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry can do whatever he wants. Arizona, Minnesota, low-key a good match. Yeah, that should be an interesting one.
I'll be depending on how much Call of Duty Arizona's quarterback's been playing.
Is it double XP weekend again? It is on Rocket League. We got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati might be a good matchup too. Obviously, Cincinnati's still kind of trying to figure themselves out if they're going to get right the ship, and then Pittsburgh obviously has been pretty mid the last 2 weeks. So they've got to get back on track too. So that could be an interesting matchup.
I want to see the Packers go out there and just dominate again. And somehow, I don't understand how he keeps doing it. Jordan Love, I feel like I was the most wrong I've been about in a quarterback in a while. I feel like me and you flip-flopped. Last season, Wakko was like, Jordan Love isn't him, Jordan Love isn't him. And I was like, Jordan Love might be him. And now this season, I'm sitting here looking at Jordan Love. I'm like, dude, I don't feel like Jordan Love is him at all. Every game he goes out there and throws an interception. He's throwing for like 250 yards and crap like that. Like he had no interceptions last game. He had a good game against the 49ers, an injured 49ers team. But like most games, I feel like it's one of the green-headed picks on Prize Pick almost every week is Jordan Love over on an interception. Because the dude is like almost guaranteed every single week of the NFL season to throw an interception to somebody.
Yeah, and to be fair, last year when he was showing out, and I kept saying like, it's not going to last or whatever. I'm like just playing the odds here. There's no way that Green Bay can possibly have 3 franchise quarterbacks back to back to back, going all the way back to freaking Brett Favre. Like you don't get that lucky in the NFL.
He threw for 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions this week, right? That's good for no interceptions, even though it's only 163 yards. This was the first game all season that he hasn't thrown an interception. He's had 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1.
And it's right there behind Mahomes.
Yep.
In interceptions.
Mahomes.
I know.
Mahomes has been like bringing off picks this year.
That's crazy. The quarterback wide receiver dynamic this year is just off across the board.
And actually, after this last week, Patrick Mahomes has them tied. They're actually tied right now. Patrick Mahomes
really?
on the season is 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Jordan Love on the season, 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Mahomes did have Carolina last week. He probably did interception.
Patrick Mahomes with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions last week. So if you take that game away, Patrick Mahomes was actually worse than Jordan Love last week. Because Jordan Love threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions this week. Patrick Mahomes 3. That means Patrick Mahomes was 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last week, and Jordan Love was 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Yeah, Jones definitely he showed out. He showed out too this week.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes has sucked this season. He's had 2 games all year that he's done good. He had a 291-yard, 3 touchdown, no interception. 269-yard, 3 touchdown, no interception. Every other game this season has either been no touchdowns or lots of interceptions.
That was that. I actually came in. I was going to come into the Discord this morning and share it. And Q, you beat me to it. No, yesterday. But the Giants let Saquon leave. The Titans let King Henry leave. The Raiders let Josh Jacobs leave. Those 3 teams are a combined 7-26, while the running backs that they let go are 24-9.
That's
with their new teams.
Yep.
Is
crazy.
That not insane?
That's a crazy stat.
Elite running backs matter.
They really do. He said $5 million, dude.
$5 million.
God bless it.
Cowboys.
All it's like, dude.
So
$5 million.
sick of hearing about that $5 million.
And it's just the biggest fucking thing, because you're telling me over all of the 50-plus players on our team, you couldn't free up $100,000 from each player to make $5 million. You couldn't free up $1 million from this dude, $50,000 from this dude, $100,000 from Dak's contract. No, you couldn't free up $5 million. So
I had to cash app him $5,
right? I've said that before, dude. We should have started a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
A GoFundMe for Derrick Henry contract for Dallas, dude. We'll fund it. We would hit it day one.
Dallas funded
$5 million.
Yeah,
we're Dallas, dude. We love our team. We want to see.
Yeah, you also
my
have that
Titans
clip
for
of,
you. Don't forget they traded AJ Brown because they didn't want to pay him. Then they signed Ridley for more than what Brown was asking for. Yeah,
They got reamed for that, dude. Reamed.
You also have Jerry
Crazy.
Jones in the news saying he's talking about extending McCarthy.
Yeah, but
well, he didn't say he was thinking about extending McCarthy, but
Yeah,
when he was
open to
asked
the
about,
idea.
he's of course. What are you gonna say?
Exactly.
No, I'm not open to extending.
That's what I
my
was about to
coach.
say, dude. I think the only reason he said that is because he doesn't want Mike McCarthy to purposely fuck shit up because he knows he's out. If
Well,
Mike
yeah,
McCarthy
you don't-
just knows at the end of the season he's gone, like
That's just common decency. You're not
Exactly.
I mean, because if you say no, he's not getting extended. It's not a possibility. Well, then go in his office and fire him then, because
Yep.
he's still working for you. You know,
Sure.
like that's yeah. What do you think he's playing for? He's playing for a contract, or he's coaching for
Exactly.
a contract. Jerry, even as idiotic the statements as Jerry gives sometimes, he's not gonna make that mistake and say anything
he's still
other
a smart
than that.
businessman. He knows how to deal with workers, and Mike McCarthy is a worker for him, and he definitely knows how to handle his workers.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot of Derrick Henry talk, and you already mentioned it earlier, but let's just go ahead and jump into the primetime parlay. where King Henry had his first disappointment
slip
of the
off.
year. Obviously, the injury to Brian Robinson also caused us a push in that slot, so we were only 3 for 5 this week. But that was technically in the money, though, right? I think we had a way reduced payout because of that or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it turns into a 3 for 4 bet. So
yeah, instead of a 4 out of 5, it's a 3 out of 4. It pretty much just knocks the 5 pick down.
Actually,
knocks them off.
It switched it to a rescued. The rescued thing came into play, and they refunded our $10.
Oh, even better, because that wouldn't have hit. So
yeah, so we did not. We didn't win, but we didn't lose.
If they would have done it the other way, like they've done it for me before, is they'll just knock it down to a 4 pick. So that would have been
Prize Picks does.
Yeah, so that would have been a 1-hit miss on a 4 pick, which would have been a loss.
Yeah,
so giving us our $10
early because they be stingy with those rescue picks, bro.
It happened real early. And remember, too, I think that's the only reason they let us rescue, because it happened first quarter. It was like second drive. They went out there, and they were talking about Brian Robinson and went back and was going to get an x-ray. I'm like, the fuck? And then like third or fourth drive, he was back out on the field playing.
Yeah.
And then he was gone again for the rest of the game.
Yeah, see,
I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on with the Commanders?
I tailed the primetime parlay and over on Prize Picks, and it counted as a win. Even nice. And it did exactly like you're talking about it. They reduced it to a win in 3 out of 4.
They allowed us to still be a flex play on a 3 out of 4. I thought 4 picks were always power. Well, as long as it's still a win, shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so not too bad. But we got to do it again. We got to do it again, boys. We need we got Dabs is taking Goff over on pass yards this week against who's Detroit playing?
Last I saw, I thought they were playing against your mom.
No, I don't think so.
No, they're playing against the Bears, aren't they? On
oh yeah, the Bears. The
Bears.
We were just talking about Monroe St. Brown with a short week recovery.
Bears are heating up, so hopefully the Goff will be throwing the ball. Yep. And then we got Drake May.
They're playing the Packers.
No,
Lions versus the Packers.
When? No.
Thursday.
No.
Oh no! Wait. Thursday, November 28th. Packers versus. Okay, never mind.
Chicago, Detroit.
I was looking ahead. Yeah, at the next game. Ignore me.
Holy cow! I don't even know what week he's in.
Right.
Anyway, Ray Firestorm. He's taking Drake May over. He's got half pass yard or pass TDs. Hopefully that comes in right there. And we'll take that. Otherwise, he might change his bet because I doubt he wants to go more than 1 touchdown on Drake May. But yeah, so looks like those are those 2 picks. We need our picks there, gentlemen.
I'm gonna be taking. I feel like this is. I've
Don't
done
you
it
dare
once.
say Aubrey.
I've done it once this season. Okay, you guys, I've done it once this season, and it backfired in my face so fucking hard. So I hope it doesn't happen again.
Oh,
I'm gonna take the chance here because you don't go against family. All right, boys, you don't go against the family. You just don't. So against a weak ass Giants defense, I'm taking Cooper Rush over on passing yards. Let's run it back, boys. Last time I took Cooper Rush over on passing yards, he got us like 40 yards on the game. So let's hope he doesn't do that again.
Rush over pass yards.
I think they have him at like 220 right now on passing yards. I saw 204. Now on Price Picks, they have 204.5 over under on passing yards. I could see him easily going for like 250 against the Giants.
Shouldn't be too hard to do against the Giants.
That's what I'm hoping.
Knock on wood.
I got one.
Exactly.
I hate it. I'm going to be taking Caleb Williams over on passing attempts.
That's a cheat, by the way, Dabs. Caleb Williams over on pass. I like that, dude, because they've been passing a lot more with the new offensive coordinator.
And it's the Lions, so they're going to be behind most likely most of the game.
Dabs.
I already flipped him off, dude. He put that out there. I said Cooper Rush over. I said, that's for you, Dabs. That's what I said that.
Oh, jeez. Well, jeez. I should have been ready for this, huh? Let me look.
Like, and I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb over on receiving yards.
No.
Dak Prescott over on passing yards.
See, I was starting to look for Pickens. He's kind of been my go-to lately, but they're starting to creep him up on yards, 70.5. Still not a lot, but he's finished a lot of games right in that range. So I think I'll stay away from that. I have him on my fantasy team, so I like kind of looking at guys that are on my fantasy team.
I feel like a free bet this week is probably going to be the Dak Prescott over on interceptions. He's still going to find a way to throw an interception for the bench.
Jeez.
Throw a football into the crowd and is going to get intercepted by another
defender runs out there and grabs it, runs it back for a touchdown.
Pass it off to a fan.
That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Okay, I got over on Ezekiel Elliott jumping in the bucket for the Salvation Army.
Right. He's got to score a touchdown. He's got to score a touchdown to do that.
No,
yeah, he's got to run a couple yards to do that.
Take Zeke under on rushing yards. He's not even listed on Prize Picks, Ezekiel Elliott. Oh yeah, he is. He's only listed. The only thing Ezekiel Elliott has is a demon selection for over on a touchdown.
We could have had Henry and Pollard, bro.
Anyway, though,
I'm mad as hell. I just got reminded that. Talking about Zeke.
$5 million, dude.
I got
the best RB duo in the league.
Pitbull, by the way, thank you for the biddies. Pitbull, Jesus, bro.
I'm hooking it up with James Cook this week. James Cook over on the rushing yards against San Francisco. I think the Bills are going to bully the hell out of San Francisco, and they're going to do a lot of it on the ground. So I got James Cook going over on the rushing yards, which right now they're sitting at 63.5. Pretty good chance they do that all day long. So James Cook over on the rush yards for my primetime parlay. Yes, sir. Yeah. Pitbull sprinkling a little bitty love all over the place. What a G. Appreciate you. Sorry, I didn't see that until just now either.
He walked around flashing his biddies at everybody.
Well, it comes across different on the podcast screen. It doesn't have the unicorns and all that. And since I had my phone on the underdogs and Prize Picks, I didn't have the stream up over here like I normally do. But thank you, sir. Thank you for the bitties. Yeah. So last but not least, obviously we got Monday Night Football squares. And I gotta fix the board, so bear with me. But we'll talk about last week's first. We had a few names on the board. Digital Navy got a couple squares, but no luck. Dr. Worm was our one and only one that hit a winning square this week. Congratulations to him. He got 1,000 V-Bucks. And then we got next week, ignore the Bengals because it's supposed to be Cleveland, but they are playing the Broncos. So 100 bits per square. And each square is an opportunity to win 1,000 V-Bucks on the quarter every quarter. If we get 75 squares or more full, the multiplier kicks in, and instead of giving away 4 1,000 V-Buck cards, we'll give away 8 for forward and reverse scores on each quarter. So come on and get you some Monday Night Football squares, get a chance at some V-Bucks. We've given away, I think the most we gave away this season so far was like 6,000 one week. Just because, a lot of blank squares tend to hit, but when we don't have a full board, but it's still a good chance to win. Also, let me remind you guys, if you're in the chat right now on any of the THF streams, whether that be me, Digital Navy, Q-Swin, Daddy Dabs, Hash Brown, Moose Knuckle, or Bowler Dan, any of those streams, guys, every time we go live from now until December 18th, use the 500 channel points to enter in to the Christmas giveaway. You can do that every single time any of us go live. That is only one of two ways to enter into our Christmas giveaway. The other way,
he went to all of our streams and donated bits, but he didn't do any check-ins.
oh my God.
There it is. Sorry.
Yes, get over there. Do the 500 channel points for the Christmas giveaway. It's on all of the THF stream team streams every time we go live. That's, like I said, that's only one of two ways to get into this massive giveaway that we're doing to end the year. The other way is to just chat with us in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, join the Discord. Every XP level you hit just by chatting gets you another entry onto the wheel. You don't even have to do anything but what you already do, which is chat us up in the Discord. We've got a lot of different channels besides the sports channel: movies, pets, TV, music, games. We got all general chat for all the catch-all, whatever. Just come say hi. You'll earn XP with every chatter. And those will turn into entries into the giveaway as well.
And just a little sneak peek for everybody of one of the things you might have a chance at winning if you enter those giveaways. I figured the Twitch gift card, the $15 gift card that you were going to give me for winning on the thing, just throw that in with the Christmas special giveaway prizes.
Okay.
As another one of the prizes for everybody. So there's one of the prizes right there, guys, that y'all have a chance of winning is a $15 gift card.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact, I don't have the full list, but we will have the 13,500 V-Buck card. We do have one of those coming. We do have the Twitch gift card. We'll have several other Fortnite giveaway or Fortnite gift cards, and probably an Amazon gift card or two, some THF merch, maybe even some actual THF V-Bucks, if you've ever seen these. I've still got some that just need to be painted and given out. So, we got some cool prizes. It's going to be huge. It's going to be freaking huge. Huge.
That's awesome. All right.
It was horrible. Think to Hank Hill.
That boy is not right.
It's going to be huge.
All right, so rock and roll. You guys ready to get out of here?
I'm ready to.
We want to do a quick raid.
I'm down for that.
I swear to God, did I just see Daddy Dabs asking when is the podcast? Oh my God. I'm muting you in my chat. All right, who are we raiding, boys?
Yeah, Duder's online, Tweety. Des
Bryant's online.
Let's fucking raid Des Bryant. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that. What's the
Drag on my balls? Z is online. Cryptic.
Let's go hit up Cryptic. You little 817, a Texas fam.
I'll post it. I'll post it in the chat for y'all.
Perfect.
Cryptic 817.
Have a good night, Pitbull. Thank you again for the biddies, bro.
Yes, thank you once again, Pitbull.
Thank you so much, man.
Hey, and good luck. I won't say a whole lot other than just good luck to you. You know why? I don't know what you want me to say or don't say live on stream, but I know you're going through some things, and I hope it all works out for you, my man.
Same. Much love, Pitbull.
if everybody's ready, let's go.
What's the name again?
I put it in the chat. It's Cryptic with a K, 817.
All right, I got it. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Hell yeah.
Let's rock. See you guys.
Let's do it.
All right, much love, everybody. Bye-bye.
Let's love.